Are you a Hunger Games fan? Did you catch these details in the new book, Sunrise on the Reaping? This will serve as your spoiler warning because we're going to break this down. This is the new book that tells the story of Haymitch Abernathy. If you saw the movies, then that's Woody Harrelson's character. Haymitch didn't drink. He was not a drinker. He drinks now to numb himself from the pain that is his life and all the loss that he has suffered. So when we see him start to sober up for Katniss, it means that he has hope again for the first time in over 25 years. Mags and Wyrus that we meet in Catching Fire, they are actually Haymitch's mentors. And now we know that the reason they were in that state, they said that Mags had had a stroke and Wyrus had mental issues. It was because they had been tortured because of what they did with Haymitch during the 50th game. Katniss was the protagonist of the first 3 books, but we never knew really anything about her family history. Now we know that Haymitch's best friend was Burdock, which is Katniss's dad, and that he married her mother Astrid, and both of those names are plants, which then fits perfectly with their names, Katniss and Prim. And it was her father that taught Haymitch how to hunt, and he would sing ballads and pick apples. And we also now know about the nickname Sweetheart. Katniss never liked that nickname, but now we know that it holds a special meaning in Haymitch's heart, and it was absolutely not condescending, but showed so much love for her. Because of the braids, Katniss reminded him of Luella McCoy, who was a couple years younger than him, and he called my sweetheart, and they have the sweetest backstory, and oh my god, I sobbed and sobbed about that. It's also confirmed that Katniss is related to Lucy Gray, probably cousins, and it was up for debate about what happened with Snow and Lucy Gray in the woods, but we see a gravestone this time, so now it's safe to assume that she passed. We get to see the backstory of Effie, and there were so many people that were rooting for a Haymitch and Effie relationship. But now that we know the story of Lenore, we know that he could never love anyone else, that he had something to fulfill. He also felt like anyone that he loved would be eliminated from his life. So to protect her and to honor Lenore, nothing happens there, but he does have his geese, which Katniss gives him, and that ending of the book just... I'm still about to sob. We also learn that Peeta and Katniss's fathers have a very important interaction that actually saves Peeta's dad. So if it wasn't for that, then these two would have been able to have their relationship. We get so much backstory on Beetee and other characters in Catching Fire. And we now know that Beetee had been working for over 25 years to try to take down the Capitol and lost his son in the process. And we never hear anything else about his wife and the other child. So I think it's safe to assume that they don't make it either. And we know so much more about Plutarch, who Haymitch couldn't decide if he could trust or not. But we see this happen again where Plutarch takes Haymitch in District 11 to this attic, and he says it's the only safe place to talk. And he talks about instructions for how to hopefully take down the arena. And then we see Haymitch takes Katniss and Peeta to the same attic to talk to them about continuing to try to take down the Capitol and the arena. We see similarities to Luella's character and then Rue's character. And also we learn the history of the Mockingjay pin, that it was Maisie Lee's grandmother's pin that Katniss wore. Finally, we learn that President Snow tortures Haymitch because he is still absolutely hung up on a Covey girl and knows that that is who Haymitch is fighting for, and he just cannot seem to get over that. There's so much more to talk about. Let me know if you want me to do a part 2. I did the audiobook and Jefferson White from Yellowstone narrates it. I highly recommend